The next sunrise over Titan wasn't T-sunlight at all, just the faint glow of Saturn, its reflection bleeding through thick methane clouds. Yet inside Base 6, tension burned hotter than any star. June couldn't escape it. Every corridor he walked through carried whispers. Every console operator, every guard, every scientist knew the Elyra ambassador had bonded herself to a human. Him. The command council wasn't amused. To them, this was more than a misunderstanding. It was a diplomatic nightmare. "You'll retract it publicly," the commander barked. "Tell her you don't accept. If you don't, we risk violating Article 19 of the Interstellar Accord." June stared at the datapad in his hands, the words blurring together. Reject her. Disavow the claim. Save humanity's reputation. But us, what about her? He could still hear her voice from the night before, soft yet certain. When Elyra choose bond, it cannot be undone by silence. Outside the conference hall, Elyra stood by the viewport, her form glowing faintly in the dim light. She didn't move when he approached. "You've been quiet," she said softly, not turning around. June exhaled. There's a lot to say, but none of it makes sense. Her gaze reflected the swirling gas storms of Saturn. Humans speak much but reveal little. Among the Elyra, silence is truth, yet yours feels heavy. He stepped closer, his voice dropping. "If I say I don't want this, it could destroy the peace our people built. If I say I do, it could destroy you." Her eyes met his, "Or save us both." The words hit harder than he expected. Something flickered in the air between them, soft waves of light, subtle but alive. Her presence wasn't just beauty, it was energy. He could feel her heartbeat through the resonance field, like gentle vibrations brushing against his skin. The Elyra didn't bond through ceremony, they merged frequencies, and somehow his was already aligning with hers. "June Park," she said, voice trembling. "When I heard your jest, I saw no mockery. I saw truth unspoken, a longing in your eyes you hide even from yourself. You yearn for meaning, for connection, or I only answered what your heart asked." He laughed softly, though his throat was tight. "You make it sound poetic." "It is," she said simply. "The universe always speaks in poetry. You humans just forgot how to listen." For a long moment, neither spoke. Just the hum of the reactor below, the faint hiss of oxygen vents. Finally, June took a breath. "If we do this, if we really bond, what happens?" Elyra's eyes glowed brighter, silver fading into gold. "Then you will no longer be just human, and I will no longer be only Elyra. We will be something new, something the stars have never seen." The alarms broke the silence. Base 6 shook violently. Panels flickered. The commander's voice blared through the intercom. "Meteor storm incoming. All units to shield stations." June ran toward the control bay, Elyra right behind him. Outside, streaks of light tore across the sky, slamming into Titan's surface like fire raining from the heavens. "Shields at 70%, someone shouted. But June saw the data. One more impact, and the main reactor would breach. He looked at Elyra. She already knew. "Go," she said. "Seal the base." "No," June snapped. "I'm not leaving you. You must." Then, before he could protest again, she pressed her glowing palm against his chest. "Your heart called me, June Park. Let me answer it fully." Light burst around them. The sensors screamed as Elyra resonance energy flooded the reactor grid. Elyra was merging, channeling her essence into the shield system. He grabbed her shoulders, shouting over the chaos. "You'll burn out." Her smile was small but peaceful. "Then claim me now, human, so I do not die unbound." The words hit him like lightning. Without thinking, he whispered, "Then I claim you." And in that moment, the reactor stabilized. The meteor storm faded. The lights dimmed, then steadied. When the emergency lights came on, Elyra was gone. Only faint trails of luminous dust floated in the air. Her energy merged with the station itself. Moon fell to his knees. He could still hear her voice echoing softly in the comm systems like a distant song. I am not gone, my human. I am where your heart beats strongest, between stars and storm. Weeks later, when Earth Command debriefed him, they called it a tragic accident. But when June walked Titan's frozen plains at night, the wind sometimes carried a whisper, gentle, melodic, and unmistakably hers. And every time he looked up at Saturn's rings, he'd smile and whisper back, "You still owe me that first dance, Elyra." Because some bonds don't end in death. They echo. Forever. And that was I joked she'd make a good wife. The alien whispered back. Then claim me, human. A story not just about love, but about the power of words. About how one human joke can ripple through galaxies, changing everything. Think about it. How many times have we said something without realizing its weight? For June, it wasn't just humor. It was destiny disguised as laughter. If you felt that spark, the tension, the connection, the heartbreak, then you, my friend, are part of the HFY legacy. Humanity doesn't just reach the stars, we change them. So if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another journey through the unknown. Drop a comment below. Would you claim Elyra or walk away from the stars? Until next time, travelers, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, in every corner of the universe, humans are still legends. It started as a joke. June Park, a tired human engineer stationed on Titan's frozen outpost, laughed when the alien diplomat, Elyra, copied his sarcasm about marriage customs. "You'd make a good wife," he teased. Everyone chuckled. Everyone but her. She leaned closer, her silver eyes reflecting the storm-lit glass of Saturn's rings. Her voice, soft, melodic, and impossibly calm, whispered, "Then claim me, human." In that moment, the room went silent. What began as a casual exchange would ignite a political firestorm, and a love that could rewrite interstellar law itself. If that line just gave you chills, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Best HFY Sci-Fi Story channel, where humanity doesn't just survive, we astonish the galaxy. So before we dive deeper into this forbidden love between species and stars, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The storm outside Titan Base 6 howled like a living thing. Orange lightning crawled across the thick methane sky, flashing against the metal walls of humanity's loneliest outpost. Inside, a dozen diplomats, engineers, and translators gathered around a curved glass table. It was meant to be a celebration, the first joint treaty between humans and the Elyra, an ancient species of light and song. But as usual, humans couldn't keep things entirely serious. June Park leaned back in his chair, exhaustion pulling at his eyelids. He had spent 18 straight hours calibrating the comm arrays for the Elyra's bioresonance signals. The aliens didn't speak words the way humans did. They sang them, harmonized them. Their speech shimmered in the air like vibrating glass. Beautiful, sure. But after the 12th hour, it gave June a headache. Elyra, the Elyra ambassador, stood opposite him. She was tall, almost statuesque, with luminescent veins tracing across pale, translucent skin. Her eyes shifted colors when she spoke, silver when curious, blue when thoughtful. She tilted her head as if tasting every vibration of human sound. When one of the diplomats joked about how different human and Elyra relationships were, June, running on caffeine and sleep deprivation, snorted and said under his breath, "She'd make a good wife." The humans laughed. The translator chuckled awkwardly. But Elyra didn't. She blinked once, twice, then stepped closer. The air hummed softly around her as if reacting to her presence. "Explain," she said, her voice both melody and question. June froze. It's a joke. You know, humor." "Wife," she repeated carefully. "A word of possession or of bond?" The laughter around the table faded. Even the translator hesitated. Everyone suddenly found the air too thin. June tried to backpedal. It's both, I guess. Someone you care about. Someone you promise to stay with. Through everything." Elyra tilted her head again, her gaze sharp, studying every flicker of his face. "Then claim me, human." The room went silent. The translator looked like he might faint. Wait. What? June stammered. Elyra's eyes shimmered silver now, glinting like starlight through ice. You said I would make a good wife. I will not shame your word. I accept. For a heartbeat, June thought she was teasing him back. But Elyra didn't understand human sarcasm. Their culture was built on literal bonds. Words were sacred, promises binding. To joke about union was to invoke a contract. The entire treaty meeting had just turned into a proposal. Hold on, June said, standing up, palms out. That's not what I meant. Elyra frowned, not angry, but confused. You speak of affection, as if it is mockery. You promise warmth, then retreat into cold. The diplomats began whispering frantically. Someone tell her it's a misunderstanding, one hissed. We can't have this blow up. But Elyra wasn't listening to them anymore. She was staring directly at June, and for the first time since the mission began, he realized just how human her eyes looked. Curious, hurt, hopeful. June swallowed hard. I didn't mean to offend you, I was just joking. Her expression softened slightly, but her words were quiet, deliberate. Among my kind, to joke of bonding is to reveal truth the heart hides. We do not speak of union without intent. Something twisted in his chest. How could he explain human humor to a species that believed every word shaped destiny? Outside, thunder rolled across Titan's horizon. The meeting ended awkwardly. No one dared to mention the incident again, but whispers spread fast through the station. By nightfall, every technician, guard, and scientist knew. The alien thought she was engaged to a human engineer. That night, June couldn't sleep. The storm kept pounding, and the memory of her voice wouldn't leave him. Then claim me, human. It echoed in his skull like a song he didn't understand but couldn't stop humming. He tried to convince himself it was absurd. Just a misunderstanding. But every time he closed his eyes, he saw those shimmering silver eyes watching him. Not angry, not cold, just waiting. The next morning, he found her waiting by the observation deck. Saturn's rings shimmered beyond the glass, filling the sky with gold light. Elyra turned, her expression unreadable. Your words travel far, June of Earth, she said softly. Even among the stars, they reached me. June sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. Look, I messed up. I didn't mean it. She looked down, her hands glowing faintly beneath the skin. You say it was error, but my heart, my resonance, has already answered. When Elyra choose bond, it cannot be undone by silence. His throat went dry. You're telling me? She looked up, eyes glowing brighter now. I am bound to you. He opened his mouth, then stopped. Because deep inside, beneath the shock and confusion, something strange flickered. A warmth he hadn't felt in years. The idea that someone, something, had chosen him, and meant it. The storm outside began to calm, but inside him a different storm was just beginning.